tower cam right now. We are very breezy. 37-mile-per-hour sustained gusts, 79 degrees with, again, that very heavy rain. So it feels closer to 83 outside. So here's that North Beach cam. We flipped it around from where Lexus was to show North Beach because we've got a report of the 181 turnaround at North Beach being flooded. So please make sure that you are taking careful while driving out and about today if you do have to go somewhere. If not, just stay home and enjoy a movie in the rainy weather. That is absolutely perfect. You can see lots of waves there, and I'll toss over to Carly in just a little bit to talk more about those waves. But for now, let's take a look at your forecast for this Tuesday, getting up to the lower and middle 80s, the upper and middle 80s, I should say, for Corpus Christi because of all the clouds and rain. That's going to keep us a lot cooler than we have been in the past couple of days. You can also see the rain chances over this morning gradually decreasing as we head into this afternoon to about 40 to 30%. That's going to happen as we see the bulk of that rain move out of the coastal bend, but we're still going to be in line to receive some of those feeder bands. I'll get to that in just a second. Here's a look at the rest of the tropics. They are definitely waking up. We've got Emily, Franklin, Gert, and Harold. All of these storms have formed since the weekend. Up until then, the last named storm had been Dawn, and that was quite a while ago. So we are well on our way to the peak of hurricane season here in about 3 weeks. Here's a look at where Harold is. It's got winds of 50 miles per hour at this time, and you can see here's the radar. You can also see the previous track of it. At first it was just that potential tropical cyclone, then it was the tropical depression, and then earlier this morning it got named into a tropical storm, and that's when it got the name Harold. Now I'm going to zoom it in here and you'll notice it made this weird little jump up to the north. So instead of making landfall down towards Kennedy County where it had been expected, now it made landfall up towards the Kennedy-Claiborne County line. So that's where it made landfall just before 10 a.m. was on Padre Island, right around there. So that's where that storm still currently is. It's got winds of 50 miles per hour, 65-mile-per-hour gusts as of that 10 a.m. update. And here's where the cone sits right now. You can see as it continues across into the brush country over to the border, it's going to downgrade likely into a tropical depression as it loses steam. It's not going to be over these very warm Gulf waters anymore. You can also see underneath all of this mess, we've got this big red block. That is the tropical storm warning going from now until the Weather Service decides that it shouldn't be there. It's until further notice, but the one that we do have in effect is going to be a flash flood warning for some of our counties here along the coast, and I'll show that in just a minute. But you can really see right here how it made that jump from down here to up towards the Kennedy-Claiborne County line, and this is something that tropical storm or Hurricane Nicholas in 2021 did as well. It kind of reformed its center in a couple of different places. So the weaker storms tend to do that when they're not all that organized and when they are trying to organize. So here's a look at where Harold kind of made landfall. It was a tropical storm again right before 10 o'clock, 50 miles south of Corpus Christi, so not too far off from us, but it was a bit north of where it was initially anticipated to make landfall. 35 miles north of Port Mansfield, right down here was where it was initially expected to make landfall, but that jump with the center reforming put it somewhere in this area. Here's a look at satellite radar and temperatures right now. Very cloudy, rainy, and windy outside, so not the best weather conditions unless you're wanting to stay inside. 79 in Corpus Christi. You can see the center of that storm kind of wrapping around right here where the center is going to continue to track across into the brush country again later this afternoon and eventually towards the Mexico border. We're going to continue to see lots of rain here. That's why we have this flash flood warning in effect, including parts of San Patricio, Nueces, and Claiborne counties right up towards the coast. That includes the islands. This is going to go until 12:45. So for about another 2 to 3 hours, because we're going to continue to see very heavy rainfall here in the coastal bend. Again, the big red box, that is the tropical storm warning going until further notice. Here's a better look of that flash flood warning and the areas that it encompasses, even possibly the very tip of Aransas County right there. But very heavy rain continuing to fall not only there but across the entire coastal bend. So let's take it neighborhood by neighborhood, if you will, into the coastal bend. We've got lots of rain here in the southeast part towards the tip of Jim Wells into western Claiborne and southwestern Nueces County. This big shield of rain, that yellow part, that's pretty heavy rain. So I wouldn't be too surprised if we end up seeing more flooding warnings or reports of multiple inches of rain in some places. These tropical downpours can put down quite a bit of rain as we have seen. Here's a look towards Duval County and the Brush Country. They're starting to see some of the heavier rain as we head into the 11 o'clock hour. Earlier this morning, they were just seeing some of those very outer bands making their way all the way around, kind of like our northern counties are. Now they're starting to get a little bit more of that bulk of rain, just the edge of it up towards Mathis, maybe over towards George West at best, but usually, or rather, they're just not seeing as much as we are here in Corpus Christi and especially down towards Clayburgh County. So that's where the bulk of the rain is. Again, flash flood warning in effect until 12:45. And if we take it now here, some of that rain is essentially causing lowered visibility. So normally we use this for fog. Now we're using it for rain. It's very heavy to the point that it's decreasing visibility. So we've got that on top of the very slick roads. So please make sure that you are taking care as you are driving. Here's a look at rainfall totals across the coastal bend. 2 inches reported out at the airport, 1.2 inches at the Naval Air Station. So these are the official reported numbers around the coastal bend. And this isn't my graphic with the little tiny numbers in every single place. I'll get that one updated as quick as I can, but this one is current. The reds and the purples and the blues, those are all radar estimated rainfall totals. So very heavy rain, like I said, expected in our southern counties, and we're slowly going to see some of these darker colors creep across into these other counties as Harold continues to move across into the rest of South Texas. So here's one last look at what that's going to look like through the rest of today. That big rain shield, like I said, now right about here, it's going to continue to move to the northwest of that storm, but we're still going to be seeing these feeder bands in Corpus Christi and surrounding areas as Harold continues to track across into Mexico this afternoon. So we're seeing these feeder bands still into this evening, even into overnight and into tomorrow morning. So we're not quite out of the woods in terms of rainfall, but the winds should hopefully be calming down as we head into tomorrow morning.